of the suitability of the place, and also the fact that you have engaged the stakeholders. Based on that, he will now recommend that you should be given the lease. Then you take it from there. All the necessary payments that you are supposed to make, you pay them online. Is that not the case? You pay them online until you get to a point where the CEO of Minerals Commission will now recommend to the minister that Yusuf Suleimana, who is taking the concession from Etiwa area, has met all the requirements. And so we are recommending to you for your approval. Then the minister will interrogate it. He can call for the file and satisfy himself, and then also sign. Then it gets back to Minerals Commission again. And then they engage Yusuf Suleimana again. Your application has been approved. These are the things that you're supposed to meet, and these are the conditions of the agreement. Are you ready to have a reclamation bond? You have to go and discuss this with the EPA. And that's one of the issues that we have not looked at. And then we go through all this process, and then you can now have your license to go and mine. Now, if you don't involve the community, and then you go get your license and get back to them, that's where you begin to have some challenges. So I advise that we involve the communities. And I also advise the communities that when people come to you.
Honorable Minister, I'm sorry. We have about 13 more questions to ask you. So when we ask the rest of the questions, maybe it will help you.
Chair, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm done. Thank you, Minister, and Mr. Chairman, I'm done.
All right. The next question is on by Honorable Enim Enes, please.
Thank you, Chairman. So this issue had to do with prospective small-scale miners not posting reclamation bonds. And I think that, Minister, you had spoken to it in your last statement. I just want to understand, because when you look at all the issues, I can see that with implementation, you have been able to do a lot. But on this particular issue, I see here that it's partially implemented. I want to understand what are the challenges EPA has with this particular issue. If you can throw more light into it, then we can go to the next question.
So a reclamation bond is a bond that gives an assurance that the degraded area, as a result of your activities, will be reclaimed. And if it is not reclaimed, this amount of money that you would have used as a guarantee will be used to reclaim the place. And this is sitting with EPA. Thank God we have EPA rep here, so I can speak to it. So there are issues of budgeting. EPA must be able to tell approximately how much it will take for the reclamation to be done, even before the mining starts. Now, it is possible for some figures to be estimated, and then at the end of the day, that figure will not be enough to reclaim the land. So some kind of thinking will have to go into it. But the question here is that under this particular arrangement, many of them did not even put in reclamation bond. As I speak to you, we are now insisting that they put in reclamation bonds.
So, Minister, over here, I just want to understand something. Do we lack capacity in the assessment of the costs? Or what is it? Because if EPA is not able to estimate correctly how much it will cost us to reclaim a portion of parcel given to a particular small-scale miner, then it means that there is some bit of capacity issues. Because
I have to reframe my comment or my. It's not the case that anytime you do estimate, you get it right. It's not the case. So largely, it's because they were not placing these bonds, and that was the issue that was raised. And we are saying that now there's some improvement in that respect. If you look at the 2024 submission.
Yeah, I can see you are partially working on this particular issue. But then, with the issue of Galamsey we have in this country, I believe that if EPA is able to do this important assignment of getting the estimates, at least even 80%, 90%, we won't have all these degradation of the environment, because if we have these bonds secured for reclamation of these lands, I do not think we would have issues, because even when the small-scale miner runs away, we have enough in the bond to take care of the land. So that is an area I feel that we should do more. If EPA should start acting, we won't be talking about Galamsey, because we have enough security to take care of the damage that the small scale will leave for us. So I think EPA should do more. And Minister, let me bring in this one, then you can just answer, then we can move on. Do you think we need reforms to the bond system so that it will make it easy for these small-scale miners to comply? Because if there are reforms such that a small-scale miner, based on his capacity, is able to pay, then we shouldn't have a problem. So tell us if there are any reforms you think can help make compliance easier for small-scale miners. Then we won't have this issue of Galamsey lingering around and people, communities complaining and all that.
Chairman, sometimes I get confused when some of these issues are raised. Galamsey, small-scale mining, and all of that. And we said here that there are people who hold certificates and pretend to have it from Minerals Commission, but they haven't gone through the process. We classify them as illegal miners. And so these are some of the people who don't even have time to go to EPA to go and put their bond there. So the challenge starts with how they acquire the lands. That's one set. Another set is those who will not even come to Mineral Commission. They won't go anywhere. They just take their equipment, arrange with some landowners, and then they start. That is pure Galamsey scenario. And these are criminals. And if the law works, we must deal with them. But we need now to bring them on board and see how we can license them and move on. That's the way to go.
All right, Honorable Minister, we go to the next one. Is Honorable Cletus who will ask that question, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Minister, this report or infraction, it has to do with the capacity of your district officers. It was detected that your officers do not have the capacity to prepare plans for monitoring with regards to environmental risks. Can you talk to this?
Yeah, so that was a legitimate issue that was raised, and it's been addressed, and we continue to improve upon it.
Address it, Minister.
Of course, so addressing it means that getting the requisite expertise and people with the necessary backgrounds to handle the specific areas that we want them to handle. And so we are now taking more geologists, we are taking more engineers, and we are also giving them in-house training.
Thank you, Minister.
All right, the next one is by Honorable Nase. It's 2G.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Minister, this next infraction is about inadequate strategies to address structural, human resources, and logistics gaps to enhance monitoring. I'm very particular about the minimization of environmental degradation. So it said that the district mining committees were either not in place or inaugurated. Please, may I know how far you've gone with this?
Yeah, so by the close of 2024, all the district management committees were inaugurated, and they were functional.
I think the auditors. Because it's conflicting to what the auditors have written here. Auditors, please can you confirm to what the minister is saying?
Honorable Chair, when you look at what we have indicated in the report, we are saying that the 20 out of 24 district mining committees at the 3 mining areas we visited were not functional. 3 out of the 5 DMCs in Takwa were not functional, while 10 out of the 11 DMCs in Obuasi were not functional. At Akemoda, 7 out of 8 DMCs were also not functional. And the DMCs in the 3 mining areas, as we have them in the appendix. Officials of the Minerals Commission indicated that the 20 DMCs were not functional because the district assemblies did not have the resources to fund the committee's operations. So yes, they have been inaugurated, but we're looking at how functional they are.
Yeah, so the functionality of the district management committees is a joint responsibility between Minerals Commission and the district assemblies. Now, at the end of 2024, they were all inaugurated. As to their functionality, it will be difficult for me to speak to it. But what I do know is that their tenure expired. And so we are now going through a process of getting new ones starting from this year.
Minister, 10 months, mining is going on. District mining committees have not been set up. And it's a topical issue now. And if you don't set up these committees,
You mean
I'm very
not,
particular about environmental degradation, Minister.
are you saying that not setting them up is a topical issue? Or what is topical here?
Minister, you are here to answer questions from the committee, not to ask me a
But
question.
I ask for clarification.
No. Chairman, you are here to answer questions from me as a member of the committee.
Perfect.
But not for you to ask me a question.
My brother, I've been here, and you can ask a question for clarification.
What is topical is mining.
Exactly.
What is topical is mining.
Yes.
And we need these committees.
Yes, so what we are saying is that by close of 2024, all of them had expired. Now, some also expired this year around June. Okay? But like I said earlier, we have put in place a system, and some of them, as I speak to you, we are just about, integrating them. Don't forget that these are chaired by the DCs. It took time for DCs to be brought on board and many other things. Now, in place of your concern, your concern is that once they were not there, environmental degradation was taking place. Minerals Commission and EPA were strengthened to ensure that there was effective monitoring. And the Inspectorate Division was asked to take up some of these responsibilities whilst we put in place the committees. So it was not as if we went to sleep and left it like that. We had put in place a stop measure to ensure that our eyes were on the cake.
Minister, I think the good people of Ghana would like to know some timelines from you. With the speed with which you revoke licenses, I think you should use the same speed to inaugurate and make sure that these committees are functional. So we need some timelines, please.
I'm happy you are concerned about this, and we can assure you that within the first quarter of next year, we would have put all this in place. But I'm telling you that in place of these management committees, we have put in place a system. And that system is working. Whilst we try to get these committees back, we were swift in cancelling those small-scale mining licenses because there was some wrongdoing, and we thought that we should do the right thing.
He's answered your question, right?
Yes, please, I'm done.
Okay. The next one is Honorable Kinney, and it's on paragraph 2H.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Minister, this has to do with strategies to address human resource and facility gaps within EPA not fully being implemented as at then. The districts and area offices of EPA did not have enough staff as well as office accommodation to carry out their operations. The agency was yet to complete its staff establishment to enable it recruit new staff. How far have you gone about this? Thank you.
I think I in my earlier submission, I answered it. I said EPA was recruiting some temporary staff and training them to go and take up these places. And that was when I referred to the Deputy Minister, who is my in-law, that he should do well and give us clearance so that they can get more permanent staff.
The Honorable Minister, how far has this improved on your operations?
Yes, obviously, if we're able to get all our offices equipped with the necessary human as well as logistical resources, we will be able to effectively manage some of these issues. So we are thinking that from now up to the first quarter of next year, we should be able to fully implement this, because then we'll have officers in all the districts to help us in this respect.
I wish you well and thank you very much.
I'm grateful.
The next one is Honorable Adam Agbana.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Minister, the issues identified includes the fact that small-scale miners were not well educated on compliance with sound environmental management. This report is for 2019. Since your entry into the ministry, can you brief the committee on what the ministry is doing to ensure that small-scale miners are given proper training by both the EPA and the Minerals Commission on sound environmental management?
Yes, so what I know is that the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, using Minerals Commission, working with EPA, over the period, organize some programs, training programs for small-scale miners. And we are also utilizing the Ghana Association of Small-Scale Group. They have very good leadership, and this leadership have taken their time to learn and to understand the environment very well. As I speak to you, just 3-4 days ago, I got a call from them that they were in Kumasi and providing some training and some support to small-scale miners. I think last week or so, they were in Bole area and they went to Upper West. So some serious education is taking place.
Mr. Chairman, just as a way of recommendation, just as it is with, say, the DVLA, where if you are a driver, before you acquire your license, you must demonstrate knowledge, enough knowledge of the field. Shouldn't that process of education be tied to the license acquisition process?
Honorable, a very laudable suggestion, but the two are not the same. You have a situation where young men and women wake up early morning and they are in the bush mining. And it's been difficult to control them. And you're talking about huge numbers. So for me, we should go to them, sit with them, take them through the process. But even as we take them through the process and license them, we must self-provide them with education continuously. So the process must start from the very beginning when they are looking for the licenses, and it should continue because the whole environment is so dynamic. For instance, at a point, they were allowing people to use mercury. Now we don't allow people to use mercury. So there are new technologies. You have to teach them those new technologies. So your advice, well noted.
Honorable Minister, thank you very much for coming to Public Accounts Committee. You are discharged.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
I
I, Thomas Sampson,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
touching the matter in issue
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Please introduce yourself to the committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Thomas Sampson, the Deputy Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Richard Chunebo Akodua. I'm the Director for Research, National Development Planning Commission.
Thank you. My name is Jemila Tusoyi Niseidu, Senior Internal Auditor, National Development Planning Commission.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Tufo, NDPC Head of Accounts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Michelle Fafa Agbenoto, Senior Information Officer and Head of Public Relations, NDPC.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairman. My name is Nana Jumo Bene, CEO of Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Reginald Okai. I'm the Chief Finance Officer for Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. I'm Jabanane, Head of Internal Audit, MPRA.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. My name is Chris Mbwedi Mensah, CEO, MPRA.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman. My name is Anthony Akwa, Director, Standards and Compliance, NPRA.
Okay. we'll be looking at your financial, that's National Pensions Regulatory Authority. You are here, right? Okay. We'll be looking at your financials, and Honorable Enim will start with that one.
Thank you, Chairman. MPRA, so we'll be considering your financial performance and financial position. For your financial performance, your bottom line improved from a surplus position of 25 million to 30 million in 2023. But I just want us to go through a few of the expenditure lines where I feel you had gone over a certain threshold here, because I'm looking at the increases you made in your revenue. And if you made a positive change of almost 34%, but then on your expenditure lines, you went over 91 and 40% and 37.3%. I want to understand.
Mr. Chairman, can you respectfully direct us to the paragraph you are?
So this is 1021 to 1029. Minister, are you there?
Not yet, but you can proceed.
Okay, so I just want to understand your goods and services. It went up by almost 40% from between 2022 and 2023. And then your other expenses. Can you tell us what constitutes your other expenses? Since we don't really have a separate lines for the different expenditure items. So I'm looking at the two things, goods and services. Then on other expenses, what constitute your other expenses and why it went up by 92%?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the goods and services, it was due to the expansions of our offices across the country. So open other two zonal offices, and also increase the capacity of the staff in other zonal offices. So that led to the goods and services increase.
And what about the other expenses? What expenditure lines come under other expenses?
So, Mr. Chairman, the other expenses, it has to do with the renovation of some of our existing offices across the zonal offices, and other expenditures that did not fall into goods and services.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. So we move to your financial position. I think for between 2022 2023, you improved on your current ratio, which is a good sign here, and the changes aren't so drastic or huge. So, Mr. Chair, I think we can move on.
All right, thank you. Now let's go to the management issue, and Honorable Akwesi Kunedu will handle that one, please.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, this has to do with the delay in collection of fees, and there seems to be an impasse between NPRA and SNIT as to how much SNIT should be paying NPRA for the administrative expenses. If you look at Act 1080, that gives you the mandate to collect those fees. It is about 2.5 of the previous year's administrative fees that they ought to give to you. I think in your response, you said negotiations between yourself and SNIT was that SNIT proposed to pay 1 million Ghana cedis for that, and that you found very inadequate for you to carry out your mandate. And you made a counter proposal of 5 million Ghana cedis. And you said SNIT was considering that, and you left it at the table of the Minister for Labor Relations. What is the status of this relationship between the two of you? Because you are supposed to receive about 18 million per the auditor's observation. What is the status of it now? And whilst at that, to be helpful for us to appreciate and understand, if you can tell us the mandate for which you seek that amount of money to do, and why the counter proposal of 5 million, not the 1 million, so that when we have something better to add on to PUSNET, then we can. So your mandate and why that impasse is still existing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I will speak briefly about it and will defer to the CEO for MPRA to also add some if he so wishes. This issue has been a long-standing issue between the MPRA and SNET. And over the years, SNET has refused to make payments to MPRA. This year, the issue was brought to our attention, and so I had a meeting between the director, MD for SNET, and the CEO for MPRA, and we had some resolution. SNET over the years has maintained that unlike the Tier 2 and Tier 3 pension funds that are licensed by MPRA, SNET is a legal creation. And so they felt that they did not have to pay the fees to MPRA. But MPRA has been providing services regulating the entire pension architecture. And so we had a fruitful meeting, and even though SNET maintained that the 2.5% of their previous year's administrative expense is quite high, they are willing to pay something. So we have agreed, and this year SNET has made 2 payments, first quarter, second quarter payments to MPRA. And so there is some kind of resolution so far, even though they are not getting the full amount that they would have loved to get, the 2.5 that amounts to the 18 million plus that you are talking about. But we have some kind of understanding. I think in the first quarter they paid 1.7 million. They've paid another 1.7 million in the second quarter. They will continue to make those payments. So that is the progress we have made so far. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So now there seems to be a settled understanding of about paying quarterly. So that means you are going to have 4 tranches in the year of about 1.7 million. And having that amicable solution to it, won't that go against the law that we set by our own self, that the Act 1080? Because it would obviously go against that. You cannot bypass the law and have an agreement that is not in the law. Rather, you ought to therefore come for us to revise the law and probably put it where SNET and the whole arrangement between yourself and Labour would agree, Ministry of Labour Relations would agree to it, so that it will not continuously be flagged. Because once you do 1.7 by 4, you are probably going to do just about below the 2.5, and they will continuously flag that. So what will be the solution that you proffer so that we can help you resolve this matter permanently?
Mr. Chairman, that is right. That is what we intend to do. But we had to build on what had been done in previous years. Because when we came, SNET had offered to pay MPRA 1 million cedis, and MPRA rejected that amount. And so we had to follow up with those negotiations, and then we arrived at the 1.7 million a quarter times 4. And so it is an improvement over what has been done. But as you said, we need to interpret the law rightly, and if we feel that since SNET is established by a legal creation, and MPRA does not necessarily license them, if they actually have to pay the full amount or if there has to be some waivers, that is something we will have to.
Of this act, that is the 2.5. All the negotiations we are having is outside the law, and that is not right. We ought to be within the law up until we are able to set it aside. Because once we start negotiating outside the law, it will give an opportunity for others also to be playing the same line, which will not be beneficial for us. So we must be guided by some of these things whilst we go into negotiations of such nature. Thank you.
I totally agree.
Minister, is this part of the Fees and Charges Act?
It is, Chairman.
And thankfully, you are reviewing the Fees and Charges Act. So maybe you should take the opportunity to fix it and make things right. you go through the process that we usually go through, and then you amend the fees and charges so that you know that you are not doing anything outside the law, but in the law. I know we were told that once we resume, we're going to lay the Fees and Charges Act. But I know it's not late, so you can still effect any changes that you want to. So,
Madam Chair, that is actually our plan, and we are working with the subsidiary legislation to do this. Thank you.
That notwithstanding, NPRA, SNET will still have to. Who pays who? SNET pays NPRA. SNET will still have to do the needful. And so, and something that can also enable NPRA carry out its mandate, because it also needs some level of revenue to enable it to carry out its mandate. So, as for SNET paying something, yes, but it should be commensurate with the kind of activities that NPRA takes. That will not also jeopardize the payment of SNET contributions to beneficiaries. So we should look at that. Is NDPC here, please? Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair.
This relates to your financials. But before I go to your financials, share with us your current strategy and what you are doing to help the current government in place to fulfill its mandate in terms of the economic planning issues. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. So the National Development Planning Commission is mandated to advise the President on medium to long-term development strategy and planning. So on 4-year arrangements, we prepare medium-term. The last one that was done was for 2022 up to 2025, which ends end of this year. So the Commission has put in place a new medium-term policy framework, which from last year through this year, 2025, has been shared with all the decentralized planning agencies. So the MDAs, the MMDAs, and the regions are preparing their development plans in line with this. We've also ensured that the new government development priorities are in line, so that from 2026 to 2029, we will be implementing these programs in alignment with the government priorities. So this has been done. We normally also add the planning guidelines. And I think for this planning arrangement, we have insisted with collaboration with Ministry of Finance and also Parliament that if plans are not prepared, the necessary budgetary allocations will not be made. And we are not just looking at having the plans prepared, but also certified, so that through the certification process, we will ensure a strong and effective alignment between what the planning authorities will be doing and what, as a nation, we also need to do. And that is what we are doing this year. Thank you.
And Minister, I will want to use this opportunity to thank the Economic Committee of Parliament for the role they have played in ensuring that all covered entities submit their plans to NDPC. They made a profound statement that if you don't have a plan and you bring your budget here, Parliament will not approve your budget. And so when we were having budget hearings, we ensured that all the covered entities present their plans. We even withheld their third quarter allotments, that until you submit your plan for it to be certified by NDPC, you will not get releases, because the budget must emanate from the plan. If you don't have a plan, on what basis what are you annualizing? And so far the collaboration is working, and I can say that for the first time we have all covered entities rushing to NDPC, and NDPC have also been very, very supportive. I was told that they were working 24/7 to make sure that they work on the plans and submit same to us. And so that progress is being done. Since we are here on NDPC, I think it is important that we talk about the recent infrastructure plan that the NDPC launched. If you have an opportunity to see the plan, you are going to ask him. Okay, let me allow him to speak.
That's why I asked that they share with us.
Thank you. So let's allow them to.
But Minister, you can brief us. It's fine.
Oh, no, it's a wonderful plan.
Yes.
And I think it is the way to go. That as a country, we need to have a plan that we work with so that we stop the knee-jerk reaction to implementation of our infrastructure needs. And President Mahama made a profound statement that we need a plan that will live beyond a political party. That is how to develop a country. Thank you.
So NDPC, I was going to ask you about the infrastructure plan and ask you whether we can put some measures in place to make sure that it is an infrastructure plan for the nation as a whole, so that beyond 4 years, we can still be guided by the infrastructure plan, because, you know, we all accept that we have a huge infrastructure gap. And so I was going to ask you to share that with us. And also, what are your thoughts, what are your sentiments that beyond the 4 years, can this infrastructure plan live the test of time? That's what I was going to.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Yes, the Commission actually prepared the Ghana Infrastructure Plan 2017-2018. So effective 2018, the infrastructure plan has been under implementation. This was the time that the long-term development plan was also prepared, 2018 to 2057. So the infrastructure plan was the infrastructure component of the whole development plan that was prepared, and its implementation commenced. So what we launched recently was just to bring the citizens and all our partners, development partners, the private sector, and other financiers, that we have this plan that has been with us. Implementation commenced, but not all the things that we scheduled to implement were being implemented the way we wanted it. And so, to go strictly by that infrastructure plan, we want to ensure that the plans that are being prepared now for implementation, the infrastructure components will stand out, and then the schedule for implementation, the financing arrangements and all that will be analyzed critically, scheduled, spaced, and also sequenced in a manner that we would not default on the critical things that need to be implemented. So these cover the energy issues, we have agriculture, the roads, highways, all infrastructure components come under this. The beauty of it is that we have a government which has also indicated under a big push arrangement to roll out the implementation of all infrastructure that will support our economic development. We do not want the situation where these programs that will be implemented will not
all the MGAs, because for public infrastructure projects, you need to have them scheduled, and then the
costing and the implementation also streamlined, so that we do not add onto it what we have started and we have not completed. One critical area is to ensure that the backlog of infrastructure that we have not effectively implemented can be front-loaded, so we deliver on those ones before new ones are also brought on board. So that is the arrangement we have in place.
Then I'm convinced that it moves beyond 4 years, and we'll also make sure we support to make us close the infrastructure gap that we have in the country. Let me go to your financial performance. You are able to at least cover your short-term liability, so that is fine. But I want you to look at your goods and services. I realize that your goods and services far outweigh your compensation. What is your staff strength?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the financials, let me pass on to Mike.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the staff strength, including those on posting and secondment, we are about 54.
Oh, 54?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Because I see a huge goods and services component, but your compensation is, I think, about a little over 1/3 of that. So I was wondering why. But like I said, on the whole, we need to support you to make sure all the plans that you have put in place in the medium-term development framework rolls out as it's supposed to roll out. So you have an ally with this community and with this committee, and we'll be happy to support you any day, anytime you call upon us. So on this note, I'm done with you. Everything's fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, are we dismissed?
Yes, Snit is not here, so you are discharged, and then you come with them when they are coming. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, we ask that they do not stand in our way of completing this report. Looks like we have attended to almost everybody. Everybody is on schedule. So we ask that we will complete this schedule, this particular one, on Friday, and we'll be grateful if they can attend upon us before we end, so that we can submit this report to Parliament in this very sitting.
Honestly, I didn't know Senate was supposed to be here. So I think it will be helpful. I would want to know if Senate is the only agency under the Ministry of Finance that is outstanding, that you need to appear before you. If there is the need for any other person to come, please let
Minister,
the Secretariat.
I think GIF is also, initially, last year.
GIF is here.
GIF is here.
Yes.
Then we can have GIF. Last year, SNIT was under Ministry of Employment.
Yes.
So was NPRA. And so the Secretariat placed them under Ministry of Employment. And then on that very day, Ministry of Employment comes to tell us that they are not under them, so they cannot represent them. Then we found out that they were with a Ministry of Finance.
Yes, that is true. But because your report shows them under a different ministry, that is why we also didn't bring them. So it is important that you let us know. That is why I'm asking. But GIF is here, so if you have any questions for them, I think they'll be happy to take it so they don't have to appear again. Thank you, Chairman. And I see that they did not have any infraction, so.
It is their accounts.
All right, Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. Tell us about this interest income.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Our interest income is derived mainly from portfolio and also from some amount of treasury activity. Our portfolio is funded by some international development finance institutions, and it's in hard currency. And so the income that is generated is also in hard currency. When it is translated into accounts, depending on what the forex situation is, you can get some valuation gains out of it. So part of that increase in our income comes from the forex gains during the period.
But I see over here to net foreign exchange gains. It is here. Is that different from your?
Yes. So, Honorable Chairman, I think part of it is the balance sheet, which is the revaluation of the balance sheet itself, and then on the income line as well. The interests that come on the income line are also paid in hard currency.
Now, what constitutes your other income?
So, Honorable Chairman, the other income is mainly around management fees and commitment fees from the sponsors who come to us for project financing.
Now, I see that your impairment charges went up 121%.
Yes.
Why that?
Honorable Chairman, in the period under review, the auditors took a prudent stand for some of the projects that we had because we had just come out of the COVID sort of area, so there were some delays on some of the projects. And we had a couple of projects in the energy sector as well, and the energy sector was undergoing some restructuring as well, which put some delays on those projects as well. So that's the recommendation from our auditors to impair those ones.
Your financial position, 2022, it was 10.2 to 1, and 2023 is 10.8 to 1. That's pretty good and very impressive out there. You have any questions? Okay, Honorable Kunedu has a follow-up, please.
Thank you very much, Chairman. For purposes of clarity, he asked about your other income, and you said that is for commitment fee, consultancy fee, and that. But on the account, again, the statement of comprehensive income, you have fees income. What will constitute that? If the other incomes are those fees that you made mention of, what would be the fees income on the B?
Honorable Chairman, during the period, there were specific special projects that we gave was handling on behalf of government. So the health GIF, which is a sub-fund that was set up to manage the Agenda 1 projects, there were some sort of management fees that came out of that one. And because that is separate from our core GIF, that was put on a separate line. And that's the line that you refer to.
All right, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, you are discharged.
Thank you.
With your team.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are grateful.
Minister, respectfully, we are going to look at the performance audits on the procurement and maintenance of medical equipment in teaching hospitals. The health minister is here, but we need technical staff from Ministry of Finance too. So respectfully, if you can let them come and sit to support. Yes. Thank you.
Clerk, have they been sworn in? Okay, if they could get up and take their oath, please.
I swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Minister, could you introduce yourself and the people with you, if they could also introduce themselves?
So everybody should be ready to introduce themselves. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am Grace Ayensu Dankwa, the MP for Esika-Doketen constituency in the Western region, and also the Deputy Minister of Health, representing my Minister for Health today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Abubakar Bawa Abdullahi, CEO of Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair. My name is Sofedado, Director, Internal Audit, Ministry of Health.
My name is Elvis Anaba, Director of Finance, Ministry of Health.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. My name is Dr. Pakwesi Bedu, CEO, Confanoche Teaching Hospital.
Good afternoon. My name is Kofintia Samwa, Deputy Director, Internal Audit, Confanoche Teaching Hospital.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. My name is Nana Yim Are Abebio, Director of Finance, Confanoche Teaching Hospital.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Fred Ifayeboa, Director of Administration, Confanoche Teaching Hospital.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. My name is Hinta Manimbro, Acting CEO, Whole Teaching Hospital.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Osaibo Edward Bodu, Head of Auditing, Head of Internal Audit, Whole Teaching Hospital.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Senakwesi-Donko, Director Administration, Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is George Tete, the Director of Administration, Whole Teaching Hospital.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Engineer Samuel Tete, Head of Engineering, Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Okay, Honorable Minister, this is a performance audit of the Auditor General on the procurement and maintenance of medical equipment in teaching hospitals. And we have a few questions here to ask. It says, reason for the audit. The World Health Organization defines medical equipment as an instrument, apparatus, or machine that is used in prevention, diagnosis, or treatment of the illness or disease, or for detecting, measuring, restoring, correcting, or modifying the structure or functions of the body for some health purposes. This medical equipment require calibration, maintenance, repair, user training, decommissioning, and activity usually managed by the clinical engineers. So now let's go to some of the audit functions.
Thank you. The auditors are telling us that the teaching hospitals are supposed to carry out equipment needs assessments before they prepare their procurement plans, because that will be the basis on which they can purchase equipment. But they noted that from the procurement plans, from contract documents, and way bills, the hospitals procured certain equipments, but none were functioning, and there was a need for replacements. They mentioned a couple of the hospitals. There's Kolebu, and there's Kolebu. Specifically, there's Kolebu, and also at the laboratory department, there's Comfort Anoche, and at the radiology department, there's whole teaching hospital. And so can you share with us the processes that leads to, one, identifying the equipment that you need, and also when you buy them, operating them in such a way that the objective for which you purchase them are realized? Because the auditors are saying that you bought some of the equipment and some were not functioning, and there was a need for replacement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that the auditor's findings are correct. And we have all our CEOs of our teaching hospitals here. And because some of the questions are hospital specific, because it's not universal for all the hospitals, they will chip in as I take over the ministerial position on the specific issue. Honorable Chair, when it comes to medical equipment, we have two types of medical equipment. We have basic equipment, which is like blood pressure cuffs and maybe less capital-intensive equipment. Those equipments can be purchased by the hospital themselves. Then we have another set of equipments that are the high-value equipment. These are the big machines, the most expensive ones, which is like the MRI, fluoroscopy, you're looking at CT scans. Even with CT scans, there are different levels. The cutting, some of them is 120-something cut and gives you finer view of the